It began with a tremor, subtle at first, rippling through the salt flats of Nevada like a mirage coming alive. Inside the roaring M1A2 SEP V3 Abrams tank, the world suddenly bent sideways. A sound like tearing metal mixed with distant thunder split the air. The sky fractured into a circular distortion, shimmering blue and white, as the reality had been slashed open by an invisible blade. "Jesus, what the hell is that?" shouted Private Lucas Ward, the tank's jittery rookie loader. Before anyone could react, the tank lurched forward as if yanked by a giant hook. A pressure wave slammed into the hull. The electronics screamed. The crew felt weightless. Then everything went dark. When the light returned, it was wrong. The sky was no longer Nevada's endless blue. Instead, gray clouds hung low over rolling green plains. The air smelled of gunpowder, horse sweat, and mud. And echoing in the distance was musket fire, cannon thunder, thousands of voices shouting in Spanish. The M1A2 lay in the middle of a huge battlefield, frozen in shock around them. Captain John Mercer blinked at the sights. This is not Nevada. A mounted officer in a blue coat, saber drawn, stared wide-eyed at the 70-ton monster of steel. The Battle of Caseros in 1852, Uruguay's intervention in Argentina's civil war, had just gained an unexpected participant. Inside the tank, Captain John Mercer, veteran commander, calm under fire, scar on his cheek, 20 years in armored warfare. His voice was steady even now. "Everyone breathe. Check systems." Sergeant Laura Chen, gunner, sharp-eyed, dark humor. "Great. We time-traveled into a Napoleonic cosplay event. I didn't pack my tricorn hat." Corporal Diego Santos, technician, calm, analytical. "Electronics rebooting. Thermal optics online. Stabilizer functional. No GPS at all." Private Lucas Ward, rookie, anxious, fast-talking. "My hands are shaking, sir. Are we dead? Did we die? Is this purgatory with muskets?" "Rookie," Mercer said, "if this is purgatory, it smells a lot like horse crap." The crew sank into a moment of grim laughter, professional, terrified, but holding together. Outside, Uruguayan infantry and cavalry stared at the tank in disbelief. "Commander, you need to see this," Chen said, switching to thermal view. The world exploded into orange and white signatures. Infantry to the south, cavalry to the north, cannons lined across the ridge. "They're using black powder guns. Sir, these people are from the 1800s. Mercer exhaled slowly. "Confirm, we're in the past." Santos tapped the controls. "No satellites, no radio network, no external comms. We're alone." Ward swallowed. "They're pointing cannons at us." The captain opened the external speakers. A Uruguayan officer shouted in fear. "Monstro di hierro! Maquino dell'infierno!" A line of infantry fired a volley. Brown powder flashes lit the field. Musket balls pinged harmlessly off the armor, leaving tiny scratches. "Gunner," Mercer said quietly, "give them a warning shot." Chen smirked grimly. "With pleasure." The coaxial machine guns spun up, shredding a row of abandoned carts and sending splinters into the sky. The entire enemy line collapsed into chaos. The Battle of Caseros erupted in full. Uruguayan infantry, thousands strong, charged forward toward Argentine Federalist positions. And in the center of it all, the M1A2 roared to life. "Driver, move us to high ground. Gunner, load HET." The tank thundered across the field, crushing fences and scattering cavalry. Cannons fired at them in desperation. Iron balls hurtled toward the tank. One bounced off the glacis plate with a loud clang. Ward screamed, "They're shooting cannonballs at us." "Let them," Chen muttered, lining up her shot. The 120mm cannon unleashed a shockwave that flattened grass in a 40-meter radius. A Federalist artillery position evaporated into fire and soil. Soldiers fell to their knees, praying, crying, fleeing. Through the smoke, Mercer saw mounted officers trying desperately to rally their men. This battle wasn't ours, but we're in it now. The tank carved a path through 19th century warfare like a steel titan misplaced in time.
But then Santos stiffened. "Commander, fuel reading is dropping faster than expected." "How much?" "Less than 2 hours of combat operations." Mercer cursed. "We need to finish this and find a way out, or we're a pillbox in hostile territory." The tank pushed deeper into the chaos when Chen suddenly shouted, "Commander, look at the sky." A black cloud approached. Not weather, not smoke. A massive cavalry flanking force, tens of thousands strong, sent by Argentine commander Juan Manuel de Rosas, charging full speed toward the Uruguayan center and straight toward the Abrams position. "We can't stop that many," Ward yelled. Mercer made the calculation instantly. "Driver, angle us. Gunner, switch to canister, maximum spread." The tank fired again and again. 120mm blasts tearing through cavalry lines, throwing horses and riders into the air. Machine guns carved lanes through the charging wave. But there were too many. Santos's voice came through, tight with fear. "Engine temperature rising. If we push harder, we risk a shutdown." The horde closed in. Smoke and screams. Hooves pounding like thunder. The tank was being surrounded. "Commander," Chen shouted. "The anomaly, look!" Above the battlefield, the same blue-white ring of distorted reality began to reform, crackling like lightning. Mercer made a choice. All crew, brace. Full speed toward the anomaly. But the cavalry, go. The Abrams surged forward. Sabers scraped against armor. Horses crashed off the sides. Musket fire pinged like hail. The distortion widened. Color turned to streaks. Sound folded inward. The tank shot through. And in a sudden, jarring instant, they were back in Nevada. Silence. A Raptor 6 officer ran toward them, waving. "Raptor 6, where the hell did you go? You blinked off radar for 1 second and—" Mercer opened the hatch. "1 second?" "Yes, sir. You disappeared at 14:02:33 and reappeared at 14:02:34. The crew stared at each other. Santos checked the fuel readout. Full. Ward whispered, "Did we imagine all of that?" Chen replied quietly, "Look at the hole." There, embedded in the armor, was a rusted musket ball. Epilogue. Historian's note. In 2025, a Uruguayan archaeologist uncovered fragments of an unknown steel alloy on the Caceres battlefield, with microscopic machining patterns far more advanced than any 19th century industry. The report was dismissed as impossible, but buried deeper, she found one more artifact, a 120mm shell fragment stamped with a manufacturing date 2043. Her final note read, "If this is real, then history did not happen alone. Someone, or something, intervened."